Hi there, it's Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today I'm going to do a tutorial for our simple ripple pattern and also show you how Hannah in this specific blanket pattern added a thin little strip of all half double crochet to give a little bit of the color. All right, so let's get started. If you're curious about the yarn that she used for her blanket, it's called Peyton's Alpaca Blend. It has this really nice brushed finish to it. It is washable, but you lay flat to dry. And I'm using a size J hook, which is a 6mm hook. All right, the pattern repeat for this blanket is 12 plus 3. So that means that you will make a chain any multiple of 12 and then add 3. So for today, I think I will multiply 12 times 2, 24, and then add 3. And that's how many chains that I'll work with, and we will do our sample. Okay, I will begin with double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So I'm yarning over, I'm inserting my hook, yarning over and pulling up a loop, and then yarning over, pulling through 2 loops, and then pulling through 2 loops again. Now I will work one double crochet, in each of the next 3 chains. So here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Now over the next 2 chains, we're going to work what's called a double crochet 2 together. So I'll yarn over, insert my hook into the next chain space, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through just the first 2 loops. Stop right there, yarn over again, and now work into the next chain space. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through just 2 again, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. We just combined 2 double crochets into 1. Now let's do that one more time across the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, do it again, next chain space. Now I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops left. Okay, now we're back to working 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Oops. I want you to be able to see this. One more. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to add stitches. So now in this next stitch, we will work 2 double crochets. We're going to add back those 2 combined. And this will make the kind of the hill, going over the top of the hill. Let's do this again. 2 double crochets into the next chain space. Okay, now repeat 1 double crochet into each of the next 3, double crochet 2 together twice, and then work 3, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. All right, here we are. This is what your little swatch should look like. So I finished combining 2 together, and then I have worked, here they are. These are my double crochet 2 togethers. Then I worked 3 more, and I have 1 left, 1 chain space left. And into that chain space, you will work 2 double crochets. You'll always finish each row with 2 double crochets into the final stitch. Okay, chain 3 and turn. And this stitch does count as the first stitch of the row because again, we're going to have 2 double crochets into our very first stitch. So the turning chain counts as 1, and then we have a double crochet. Now we'll continue the pattern that we just did. Work 3 double crochets into each of the next 3 stitches. Here's 3. Now across the next 2, we will work double crochets 2 together. And do it again. Okay, so before we go further, I just make sure that you'll have 2 at the end and then count your 3. Then double crochet 2 together across, do that twice. And now work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And then add that back in. Let's work 2 double crochets into the top of the next stitch and 2 double crochets into the top of the next stitch. All right, continue the pattern to the end of the row, and then I'll show you where your last stitch goes on this row. So now going forward at the end of each row, you will be working those 2 double crochets into the top of the turning chains. That's the only thing is a little bit tricky sometimes is inserting your hook into the top of the turning chains. But as long as you can make sure you always work 2 into the very last turning chain, you will be well on your way. So I'm going to work my 3 chains. That does count as a stitch. And then count down your hook if you have a hard time understanding what the first stitch is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like the 4th chain. Work your double crochet, and that does not count as one of the 3 towards the double crochet 2 together. So kind of think of it as you have 2 on each end, then 3, then the 2 together, and then the extra to make the peak. Okay, I think I'll work 1 more row, and then at the end of this row, I'll show you how to pull through with a new color and how Hannah worked that thin stripe. All right, I've already worked 1 double crochet into the top of my turning chain, and this is the second one, and I'm going to do the first step of the stitch by pulling through 2 and getting 2 loops left on my hook. And then I'll grab for my new color and yarn over and pull through. Now, instead of chaining 3 and turning, I will chain 2 and turn. And now into each stitch across the row, including this first one, the first, of the other color, we will work half double crochet. So I yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over. Now for this row, and this is specific to her pattern, we are going to work 1/2 double crochet into the top of each stitch. We don't have to worry about the ripple pattern at all. And it will still stay a rippled look. I'll show you on the blanket again. But this is just an easy way to add 1 line of color. So when you get to the end of the row, you'll just work the last stitch and we'll pull back through with the original color, or if you wanted to do some other color, you can do that. So that does mean that at the end of this row, I also will be cutting the original color that I was working with, and then I'll just sew that tail in later. All right, make sure that you still work your very last stitch into the top of the churning chain. And I've gone ahead off camera and I clipped my yarn color on the other side. And I'll just grab it, pull it back through, and then I'll begin repeating the pattern. I will chain 3 and start with my double crochets again. All right, so, and then of course, I'll have to just clip that off and I'll weave that end in later. So that is our simple ripple. And let me show you her blanket again. Of course, all the pattern details are on daisyfarmcrafts.com. And if you're only seeing this on YouTube, you can get all the instructions. The link is down in the descriptions. And you can see this on our website. Thank you so much for coming by. And I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Thank you so much. I forgot to mention, here's a shot of the full blanket here, if you'd like to see it.